Cybertruck. So we had some news about Cybertruck recently that they're going to deliver it. Maybe, sort of, kind of, 2023. Anyway, some had wondered when you saw the original design of the Cybertruck, what does this mean for aerodynamics? Because that's a big part of the conversation with EVs, because you're always talking about range, range anxiety. Well, obviously, if you have a lot of drag, it might be taking a hit on range. And so most EVs follow some rough idea of curves and for superior drag coefficient, lack of drag. The Cybertruck was different. Here you had a pickup truck that had all these angles, all these sharp angles and edges. Nobody had really done that. And so you started to get curious about how they're going to deliver on these range estimates. But it turns out maybe it's not as bad as you might have thought, because here we have some aerodynamic performance simulation. And it's just a simulation. They don't have the actual vehicle at this moment. But this is Alex Lazaro-Pratt, a CFD engineer for numeric systems, used the company's aerodynamic simulation technology to produce a study that he then released on LinkedIn. And what he found with this particular vehicle is that he could get the drag coefficient down to 0.39 CD, which, believe it or not, is quite a bit better than the average pickup truck, 0.55 and 0.65, somewhere in that range.
That's pretty good.
Now, he did go on to say, hey, if we had a couple curves in here, it'd be even better.
Okay.
He did go on to say, hey, if the tail didn't drop off the way it does, we could do a little better. And Elon has spoken in the past about possibly shipping the vehicle with removable side mirrors. I don't know if you remember this, because obviously we're going to pick up a little bit of drag right there.
Yeah, this one doesn't have side mirrors, does it?
In the simulation? Yeah, it doesn't look like a ton of drag's being created there. It looks like, you can see here, a lot of drag is coming from those fenders around those protrusions, the sharp edges around the wheel wells. You can see it's just dragging over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all the cool stuff sucks from this perspective. And I remember when I was looking at the Mercedes EQS, and I was like, man, the shape of this thing, it's just like a bubble. It's just like the simplest form, almost like a raindrop, sort of, like almost like a natural form, which could be beautiful in its own way. But you started to wonder if all cars were just going to be boring because they'd all be the same shape, because we'd all be battling for maximum efficiency. And obviously these weren't the motivations of car designers once upon a time, when they were making all kinds of crazy shapes, which were fun to look at, but maybe not the most efficient. But maybe the Cybertruck proves that there can be somewhat of a balance. But you can see how the tail screws everything up at the back there, having the flat edge. But I'm going to say one more thing on this topic. When it comes to pickup trucks, it's a different part of the market, and they're already sort of boxy designs, and they're already not the top performers when it comes to drag. So maybe it's special rules for the Cybertruck compared to other EVs that are competing against cars.